Thank you, Chair Perry and Ranking Member Titus, Chair Graves, and Ranking Member uh, uh, Larson, and the entire committee for the opportunity to testify before the committee today. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here with Congressman Edwards. My heart goes out to your community, Congressman. Many Floridians have a special relationship with Western North Carolina. We always think that this is a place that we can go to escape many of the impacts of the extreme hot summer heat. So I don't think there's anywhere you can go right now to escape a lot of these extreme events. So we've got to do a better job providing for our neighbors, strengthening our infrastructure. But this hurricane season was particularly costly and deadly for my community and the state of Florida. Think of the West Coast. Think of from Congresswoman Kamek's district in the Big Bend down through Rep. Billirakis to Luna to Buchanan over probably Congressman Webster. When Milton came over, it even spawned hurricanes over on the East Coast in Rep. Mass district. So this had really started in August. Hurricane Debby dumped an extraordinary amount of rainfall, 10 to 14 inches on the state. But the real damage came September 26 with Hurricane Helene. It roared up the Gulf, bringing a record 7 feet, 8 inches of storm surge along the coast. So it has flooded out thousands of homes. It swamped the Coast Guard Air Station. It swamped MacDill Air Force Base, that's the home to Special Operations Command and Central Command. It washed away the navigational channel markers for Port Tampa Bay, so fuel could not be delivered. Whole neighborhoods were ruined and businesses ruined. But then 2 weeks after that, on October 9th, with some of our neighbors still in shelters, Hurricane Milton slammed into the state with wind speeds up to 105 miles per hour and a new record rainfall total of up to 18 inches in some areas that they said was a 1 in 1,000 year flood event. So if you survived the storm surge of Helene, it's likely that you were flooded out weeks later by Milton, and many of the rivers took weeks to crest. There were widespread power outages for some people well over a week. This inhibited the ability of small businesses to bounce back. Many of them, these small business owners, you know, are just, they have a very limited range of what they can take. So when power was out, when fuel could not be distributed, when we have police officers guarding gas stations, folks are really asking, there must be a better way. So here are a few recommendations on the aftermath and what I saw leading up to the catastrophes and the aftermath. The misinformation regarding FEMA was a real distraction. It was unnecessary. A lot of time was spent on combating that false information rather than encouraging people to sign up. Communities need to understand where the damage has occurred, and people need those emergency funds right away. I'm grateful for the federal resources and personnel that were surged into the region, including Administrator Criswell being there a couple of times, pre-positioning of resources, search and rescue, the medical assistance teams, but also the guarantee that debris could be cleaned up. Local communities, you would not believe the heartache and the cost of people having their lives out on the street. We've never seen anything like the scale of this. And to be able to say that FEMA is going to be there, the Congress is going to be there to help you clean up your communities is absolutely vital. The massive damage is going to require extensive rebuilding of homes and infrastructure across the area. And Floridians are resilient, but the impact of these back-to-back monster storms is straining our local resources. My neighbors are already spending more on property insurance than any other place in the country. Electric bills are out of sight. They need Congress now to follow through with help in helping them rebuild their lives. What Ranking Member Larson highlighted as the Small Business Administration, there's so many homeowners and businesses that need to tap those low-interest loans. There's nowhere else to turn. You don't want them going on a credit card to with those high interest rates to rebuild their lives. We've got to replenish the SBA fund right away. President Biden's proposal of a $98 billion disaster relief bill is good. It's robust, but the Congress now has to take the wheel and make sure that these dollars are getting to where they need to be. I understand the large-scale water and wastewater rebuilding that has to go on in North Carolina, but it's also all across the state of Florida. They were swamped. They polluted our bays, rivers, the Gulf of Mexico, and we're a tourism economy. We cannot rebound with polluted waterways. We've got to be able now to build back stronger, build back in a more resilient way, one that protects the taxpayer dollar so we don't go through this time and time again. Fifth, during widespread power outages, the traditional grid is destroyed. Like I highlighted, it took weeks in some places to get the power turned back on. We've got to be smarter about our electrical systems in this country and build in a more resilient way with microgrids, solar, battery systems that can safeguard our critical infrastructure. We had hospitals lose power with patients inside. We had community health centers massively damaged. We had shelters where people were trying to stay safe and the power went out for weeks. We've got to do a better job making sure that these places are safe and resilient from these extreme weather events. I'll highlight a few other things in written testimony and answers to the committee, but thank you for inviting me to this important hearing today. The heating climate is costing us a lot, and we need to better adapt for our pocketbooks and for our people. Thank you very much for the chance to be here.